Hello and welcome in Spieldurst in Cologne, where I'll show you how to play 7 Merry Monsters, the newest game from the 10 traders. It's a game for 3 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, with a playing time of about 30 minutes by the author Martin Schlegel. And now let's see what's in the box. Seven Merry Monsters being a card game, we obviously have a lot of cards. We've got our rules and, well, we've got the box. And as the name already says it, we've got 7 different Merry Monsters. So we've got Dörte, we've got Detlef, Helmut, Waltraud, Marianne, Kim, Elvis, and the Joker. Those 7 monsters each exist 7 times in the game. They all have different numbers as well, so Helmut doesn't always have the 3. There are different number versions of each monster. Numbers go from 1 to 10, but because every monster has only 7 cards, not every number exists with every monster. Then there's also the Joker, who has numbers from 1 to 10. The 10 card exists twice. 7 Merry Monsters is a trick-taking game in which I, like in most games, try to have as many points as possible. But contrary to most trick-taking game, I do not try to get as many tricks as possible, but as many different monsters as possible, and as few of one type as possible. So for example, Marianne and Detlef are 2 monsters that I have once each. So those each give me 10 points. Marianne 10 points, Detlef 10 points. Monsters that I have twice, like Waltraud, would give me 6 points for the whole pile of monsters. So those 2 cards in total worth 6 points. Monsters that I have 3 times or more, like Elvis and Dörte, would give me 1 point per monster of that type. So Elvis 3 points, Dörte 5 points. Joker cards cannot be put in their own pile. They have to be put on the pile of another monster type and count as one of those types. If you get multiple Jokers in the game, you can obviously put them on different piles. You can't move them once they have been put on one monster type. At the beginning of every round, everyone gets 10 cards. With those 10 cards, we'll play 8 tricks. So this means that at the end of the 8 tricks, everyone has still 2 cards in hand, which they will have to place in their own board and which will count for their own points. A trick is very simple. We all play 1 card clockwise. The color of the cards do not matter during the tricks. They only matter on our boards. The only important thing is the number. So the highest number will always win the trick. But there are still 2 possibilities how a trick might end. So this would be the normal one. I'd play a card. The next player would play a card. The third player would play a card, and then we'd check who has played the highest one. In this case, the 10 Helmut will win this trick, get all 3 cards, put that on their own board, and then they would be the next starting player and would start the next trick. The other possibility to end a trick would be if 2 people played the same number and that number is the highest one in the trick. So for example, I'd play an Elvis with a 9, and the next player would play a Dörte with a 9 as well. So this is the highest number in the trick. The number has been played twice. So the second person to play that number can now decide who, either me with the other highest number or themselves, would get all of the card and would need to put them on their own board. The other players, or in this case the other player who hasn't put a card into that trick, will have to put one of their hand cards into their own board, but will not play it into the trick. So the person winning the trick will only get everything that's been played up to that point. Here again, the person who has gotten the trick, in this case me, would get these cards, have to put them on their own board, and would be the person to play the next trick, or to start the next trick. We'd continue playing until 8 tricks have been played and everyone only has the 2 cards left in their hand, which they then put on their own board. When placing the monsters on your own board, it is always recommended to put each monster type in a different pile, so everyone can always see how many monsters of each type you have. This is an information that everyone should always be able to see, as it can be quite important in the game. In addition, it is always recommended to play jokers on the back of the pile, so as to always be able to see which type of monster is in that pile. At the end of each round, we would then count the points, in this case 10 points, 10 points, 3 points and 3 points, so 26 in total. We would write down the points and then start the next round. The game ends when someone has 150 points or more, or if you want to play a very short round, you can just count the points and whoever has the most wins the game. So those were the whole rules for 7 Merry Monsters. There are 2 small game variants as well. So if you want to be a bit more aggressive and have the possibility to already give the wrong cards in the first round, we've got the Ancient Monsters, where instead of keeping cards until the end and putting down the last 2, you have to put 2 cards into your own board at the beginning of the round. So everyone already sees what cards you've put in before the first trick has been played. The other version is the Monster Under Your Bed variant, where you do the same thing but put those cards face down, so you have the information which cards you put in, the other players don't. This changes a bit how you have to play, how tactical the game is. All 3 variants are very fun. I hope you'll have a lot of fun playing that game. And if you need it, of course, you'll find it in our store, Hiveworld and Spieldurst here in Cologne. We, of course, have it as well in our online store, hiveworld.de. And you can find it in other stores that take part in our in the Aktion Hohe Spielwert. They will all have 7 Merry Monsters as well. If you didn't understand anything, be sure to write us a comment. We'll be very happy to answer any questions. I'll see you in the next explanation video. Until then, I wish you a very nice day and a lot of fun playing 7 Merry Monsters. Bye!
So, das war nun schon das Video. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, lasst uns gerne ein Like, ich mach mal den Daumen hier, oder ein Abo, das freut uns auch immer. Und wenn es euch nicht gefallen hat, gerne einen Kommentar lassen, wir verbessern uns da. Bis dann, ciao!
So, those